There's Synthrones. Welcome back, and today I want to talk about synthesizers and creativity. Hi, I'm Pyramid Drone. This is my channel where I vlog about synthesizers. Hit the subscribe button, tap the bell, keep up with all of my synth adventures, and support me over at patreon.com/PureAmbientDrone. There's stuff over there I don't include on this channel, and it helps me keep going. Okay, now creativity is a funny thing because a lot of people have the misconception, and I do mean a lot of people, that the synthesizer is what brings the creativity. Whereas that can be true to a certain point, it's not always. And the reason why I say that is because I've had synthesizers that cost thousands of dollars, and I've had synthesizers that cost hundreds of dollars. And I've gotten about the same amount of creativity out of each one of them. Creativity doesn't come from the tool. The synthesizer is a sound-making tool. It's not the creative part of the music process. You want to know what is? You are. You are the creative part. And if this part breaks down, the creativity doesn't come through. You see, what I'm trying to say is that with anything, if you use it as a creativity tool, you're going to fail. It's just the way it is. You can have a box of crayons, give them to a 2-3-year-old child, and let them, and I've seen children do this, hold a handful of them and just scribble everywhere. Some people might call that art, but I don't think it's very creative, just to grab every palette in the crayon box and start scribbling on a piece of paper. Now, a real artist will take select colors from the palette and let them work together. This is the creative process that I'm talking about when it comes to synthesizers. You need to know each and every one of your synthesizers and the sound that you're looking for. And you need to be able to sit down, look at the synthesizers in front of you, and decide which ones play nicely together. This is a part that you need to know. This is a knowledge part. This is experience. And this only happens by sitting in the studio hours after hours just playing around with the record button going. I always say keep the record button going. You never know when inspiration might strike. Learning your gear, constantly playing. Every single day you need to find time to come in and play with your gear. This will spark creativity, this will spark ideas, and if you're recording everything that you're doing, you can take snippets, okay, and put them in tracks that you're working on that you couldn't finish before. Now that's a great trick, and that brings me to my next point of creativity, is record everything. Record everything and always label in your DAW what you're recording. Now, one of the biggest mistakes that I ever made in my creativity process that really limited me, that angers me even to this day because I did it, is I didn't have a system set up. There's sirens in the back here. I didn't have a system set up to where I could record every single one of my synthesizers into my DAW individually. It drove me nuts that when I got to the DAW process of, arrangements and adding effects, guess what? I had multiple synthesizers that were recorded onto one track into the DAW because I didn't have an adequate interface into the computer. So if you want to be more creative, this is going to cost you money. It cost me quite a lot. I had to get myself a Studio 32 that enables me to hook up all of my synthesizers all at once without a patch bay. I've used them before. They're not for me. I'm not saying they're bad. I just don't want to use them. Studio Live 32 allows me to hook everything up, and then when I have everything in the DAW, they're all on their separate tracks. I can be more creative. I can bring in synthesizers. I can take out synthesizers. I can add effects when I want to. I can take away effects without affecting other tracks. This wasn't always the case for me, and it limited my creativity. I'm so glad that I got past that. Now, there's another factor. Remember I said that we are the main tool of creativity, not the synthesizer? Because honestly, I've seen people take toy guitars, toy keyboards, and make some really cool tracks. It can be done, all right? When it comes to your own creativity, we sometimes fall into ruts. And when I mean rut, I mean we're like in a ditch. We can't get ourselves out of it. We're trying to sit in front of the keyboard. We're trying to make some music. We're trying to come up with a new idea, and we're just not feeling it. feeling it is the most important part. Music is emotional. And if you're not on par with your emotions on a particular day, you're going to find it very, very difficult to be able to be creative. One of the ways that I get myself out of a rut is I take a break. Sometimes I just have to walk away from the studio and I have to spend time with people. I've noticed that spending time with people enhances my creativity. I'm not saying that that will work for you. I'm telling you what works for me. Another thing that helps me out is sometimes I just have to put on some music. And it's not just any music. If I'm not in the mood for synthesizer music, I don't put it on. Sometimes I put on rock music, heavy metal music, 1980s music, anything that I feel like I want to listen to. This stirs the creative juices. And I'll give you an example. Yesterday, I went into the studio and I sat in here for 4 hours off and on, coming in and coming out. Nothing creative came out of me. I scratched every single idea that I had in my head that I put down into the DAW. Nothing was working for me. I would record something, play it back, and just say to myself, that's trash. That is just getting by. You never want to just get by. If you want to stand out with your music, if you want to stand out with what you're doing, you have to be you. You can't just put something down because it worked. It doesn't work until it moves you. A famous band, I can't remember who it was, I think it was AC/DC, somebody once said, if I don't like the music, I don't release the music. It's got to be something that I would want to groove to. It's got to be something that I would want to listen to. I don't know who said that, but I agree with it. If it doesn't move me, and if it doesn't move me emotionally, I don't care how technical it sounds, I don't care how well it was recorded, if I can't tap my foot to it or get into the rhythm or feel something from it in any way, shape, or form, I'm not going to continue on with that project, which leads me to my other point, and this is creativity cannot be sacrificed over work. You can sit for hours working on a track and it sounds like crap. Please don't release something that sounds like crap. If it's not creative, if it's not something that you would agree with, if it's not something that you are in love with, you're going to have to scratch it. And I've had to go through a lot of tracks and just scratch them. I've got tons and tons and tons of unreleased tracks. And some of you are thinking, release them, I want to hear them. But I have tons of them that are unfinished because they suck. And I put hours and hours of work into these tracks only to find out that, you know what, that's not me. That's not who I am. I wasn't on it on those days. So anyways, getting back to what I was saying, I skipped the point. When I was in my rut yesterday, what I did last night was I started listening to some music. I started listening to some upbeat music. For me, that's the emotion I was into. I wanted to just jam out. And I just jammed out for a couple of hours and I went to bed. I got a good night's rest. I got up. I got myself a lot of fluid, some water in me and stuff, some caffeine. And this morning, I started playing around my synthesizer and had the DAW recording, and I come up with something really neat that I like, and I put it together. I'm not finished with it yet, but I got 4 tracks down in the song, 4 individual tracks inside a piece, and I'm very happy with it because it was very creative for me, and I learned some things about my synthesizers in the process. So sometimes you have to step back and you have to get back into the emotional groove. And that's why sometimes you feel like you're up and you're ready to go, and other times you feel like, man, I'm just not feeling this. I just don't feel like doing it. Remember, music is emotional, and you have to always treat it that way. And that's my last point. There are a lot of technical players out there. I've known people that were very technical on the guitar, technical on the piano. I'm saying technical. And you know what? I've been complimented by a lot of these people because they're better players than me, but I come up with better tunes, they've told me. I'm not saying I'm a genius or anything like that. That's not what I mean. I'm saying that highly professional playing technical players have complimented me for my artisticness on the instruments, that they actually play better than I do. You see, the point is that people don't want technical. People want emotional. That's what your audience is going for. Rarely does anybody ever listen to a piece of music and go, wow, that sounds so technical. I just really love to listen to this technical music. There may be an exception. There may be some people out there like music teachers and people that are really interested in technique that will do that. But honestly, the general public, they're going to go through the radio stations on their, little dial, and they're going to play the music that moves them emotionally. And you know it. I've been in the car and I've gone through the radio, and kids in the back will go, oh, stop there. I want to hear that. I'm like, this thing sucks. These guys don't even know how to play their instruments. What? This awesome song. I love this song. And all it is a boom, boom, boom. And to me, it's sucky music. It's easy to make, and I would never do it, but it moves them, and that's what they want to do, and that's what they spend their money on. And hey, it's all about emotion. So if you can remember that, you'll understand your creativity flow, your process of creativity, and maybe it'll help you. I don't know. I'm not saying that any of this is going to eliminate a creativity crisis. I'm saying that in the long run, if you keep looking at music as a creative process that's emotionally achieved, you'll be able to better understand the process and approach it from that angle. Anyway, that's all I have for you here today. Be sure to stick around to watch one of these videos that's going to be popping up or has already popped up here on your screen. Continue the adventures with me. And remember, you have to subscribe and tap the bell. It will let you know when a new adventure arrives here on this channel. And please, once again, support me over at patreon.com/PureAmbientDrone. It helps with some of the bills. I love all of you guys. Leave a comment. Get involved in this channel. Until next time, keep calm and synth on.